A once mighty snack food empire has lost nearly a small goal. That's a famous Chinese business meme for 100 million yuan in just 6 months. And it's not because they weren't trying. It's because the way the times have changed is, to put it bluntly, a brutal, below-the-belt punch. Their premium halo has shattered into a million pieces, and their desperate attempt to save themselves by cutting prices has only made things worse. The script for this corporate drama is more surreal and more heartbreaking than any TV show. Hello everyone. Today, let's talk about something painful. Let's talk about the company that once tattooed the words "premium snacks" on its forehead, that walked with an air of superiority, its stores as bright and polished as luxury boutiques. Let's talk about how Bestore has just taken a spectacular face-first dive into the mud. The story begins with their freshly released mid-2025 financial report. Reading it is more jarring than biting into an expired nut. In the first half of the year, Bestore shut down a staggering 430 stores. That's an average of 2 stores vanishing from the map every single day. Their revenue? 2.8 billion won. Sounds like a lot, but that's a 27% collapse from the year before. Nearly $1 billion yuan in business evaporated. But that's not the worst part. The real killer is the profit line. Last year, they were making money. This year, they've taken a nosedive, posting a net loss of nearly 100 million won. The year-over-year decline is a terrifying 491%. If you strip out the creative accounting and just look at the core business losses, the number is even scarier, a 1,694% plunge. On a stock chart, that's not a dip, that's a vertical freefall that would shatter the screen. The official explanation is a masterclass in corporate speak. We optimized our product pricing, which affected gross margins. We proactively eliminated inefficient stores. Online traffic is just too expensive these days. Each sentence on its own sounds reasonable, but when you piece them together, it reeks of the defiant cry of someone who just got beaten up but insists they just tripped and fell. To understand the fall, you have to remember the glory days. In 2019, Bestore was the king, flying the banner of premium snacks. Their stores were like art galleries. The lighting made the food look like it had its own beauty filter. The packaging was minimalist chic. They made you feel that eating a bag of their nuts was an act of middle-class self-actualization. And the prices, of course, reflected that. A bag of almonds cost more than pork. It was called brand premium. And it worked. In the era of consumption upgrade, young people with a little extra cash were happy to pay for that feeling of curated, sophisticated living. They expanded, went public, and their market value soared. They were the undisputed handsome rich kid of the snack world. But in the world of business, there are no permanent tailwinds, only shifting tides. While Bestore was admiring its own premium reflection, a grassroots, muddy-tide revolution was brewing. Discount snack chains with earthy names like Snacks Are Busy began to sprout like weeds. Their strategy, brutally simple. Forget fancy decor, their stores are like massive, edible warehouses with shelves piled high to the ceiling, and the prices are rock bottom. Their secret is even simpler. Cut out every single middleman. Go straight from the factory to the store. They are the Pinduoduo of the snack world. This attack was aimed directly at Bestore's Achilles heel. Why? Because the economy changed. The winds died down. Young people started clutching their wallets. The consumer mindset shifted from treat yourself to be smart. People suddenly realized, when it comes to satisfying a craving, is there really a fundamental difference in taste between a bag of beef jerky eaten in a fancy store and one eaten at home in your pajamas? No. But the price difference could buy you a whole other bag. The era of paying a premium for atmosphere and status was over. Faced with this street-level assault, Bestore panicked. At the end of 2023, they made a huge move, the biggest price cut in their 17-year history. Over 300 core products, with an average price drop of 22%, some slashed as much as 45%, a brutal move. but the effect was suicidal. Why? Because by slashing prices, they personally took a sledgehammer to the premium identity they had so carefully built. Consumers were confused. Wait, you were charging that much before? Were you just fleecing us? Old loyal customers felt betrayed, like their past purchases were a stupid tax. And new customers? They compared the newly discounted prices and found they still weren't as cheap as the dedicated budget chains. The result was a catastrophe. The price cuts didn't lead to a sales boom. The collapsing revenue proves that. Instead, it just obliterated their profit margins, which have been in a free fall ever since. And the problems kept piling up. Channel failure. While the discount chains were conquering neighborhood streets and online group buying was exploding, Bestore was still defending its old territory of high-end malls and traditional e-commerce. They tried to get in on the action, but missed the boat. It's like they were trying to fight a modern war with old-world weapons. Store burden. Their physical stores, once the foundation of their premium image, became a crushing liability. The high rent and labor costs of prime commercial real estate were unsustainable when customers were flocking to no-frills outlets. So they began the painful process of cutting off a limb to survive, closing hundreds of stores. Online black hole. They thought online would be their savior, but it turned out to be an even bigger money pit. They poured hundreds of millions into platforms like Douyin, TikTok, but the return on investment was abysmal. They were spending 100 yuan on ads to generate just 80 yuan in sales. Supply chain sickness. The globally sourced ingredients that were once a mark of quality became a burden. Imported Turkish apricots come with a 25% tariff. The discount stores sell domestic ones by the pound. When consumers realized premium just meant the box cost 21 more, they voted with their feet. Bestore's predicament is not an isolated case. It is a microcosm of the collective pain of an entire industry in the midst of a tectonic shift. The old rules of relying on marketing, branding, and storytelling are gone. The new battlefield is one of extreme value, supply chain efficiency, and a deep understanding of what consumers actually want, not what you tell them they should want. The ultimate winners will be the ones who can truly and honestly master the art of good quality, not expensive. To get back on its feet, Bestore will first have to learn how to bend its knee and take a good, hard look at the ground beneath it. A poet of our modern age might say of this moment, "They built a brand on a high and lofty perch, for fancy snacks a premium deep search. But stores now close, 400 in the red, a balance sheet of numbers to be dread. They cut the price, a desperate swinging sword, which slashed the profits they could ill afford. The online spend, a fire burning cash, as cheaper rivals make a sudden dash. Trapped on an island of a brand long past, a heavy price for a spell that couldn't last." That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.